For more on the story, we're now joined in the studio by Denel's Group Financial Director, Fikile Mhlonhlo. Good evening, Fikile, and welcome to the program.
Good evening, Lulu, and good evening to the viewers.
Thank you. Now, firstly, Fikile, Denel has posted a profit. What do these financial results indicate? A bright future?
A very, very strong future for the company. One has to look against the background that the company for almost 2 decades, it was under financial stress, and the fortunes have indeed changed.
Now, Fitch has come out and given Denel a credit rating of AAA status. What's the impact of that status?
It does mean that we can easily be able to raise funding should that be so required. And it also means that the costs associated with the funding would indeed be lower, will be more manageable. It's certainly something that we need if one looks at the fact that we have a huge order cover, in actual fact concluded contracts, which we have in our press release earlier today indicated that is sitting at about 32 billion rand.
Now, you touched on the fact that earlier on that 20 years ago it was very difficult for Denel. Denel wasn't making a profit at all. What sort of cost-effective measures did the company go through for it to be where it is today in this position?
It's a combination of a number of measures. One of them is increasing the orders and ensuring that we are able to put our core products out there in the market and ensure that our potential customers are able to actually conclude contracts with us. That's one element. The other element, included in the elements, is ensuring that we are able to do business as efficiently as is possible. Now, that touches on a number of aspects. One is to ensure that we conclude the contracts that we're executing, which are very complicated, which by very nature they take longer. We make sure we complete those contracts within specified times. And the other one is just make sure that we are as economic and optimize costs as possible.
Now, Denel as an organization or as a company, as a Chief Financial Director, are you at liberty to discuss or tell us as a nation who your clientele is? You mentioned in the press briefing there was mention of the Middle East, for instance. Are you able to give us that information?
I think it's important to be saying out of the activities that we have executed for the year, 50% of that was for local client, which is all the security clusters within the country. But also secondly to say another 50% is export. Export is very important in terms of earning foreign currency. It's important in terms of ensuring that we are competitive out there. We are seen as a country that is able to contribute to science and technology. And then if we then go a little bit further in the discussion is to say, what are those broad regions? Perhaps, one of the important things is that given our business, we can't really be at liberty to go into greater detail. Suffice it to say, our clients are based in South America, they're in the Middle East, they are in the Far East, they are in the African continent, a little bit in Europe, and very limited in the US.
Now, Mr. Fikile, looking at Denel's background, and today this is where you are. It's the 4th year making a profit, and Fitch has changed your credit rating, and things seem to be a lot easier, and the clientele is coming into the country from developing equipment and manufacturing and so on. Science and technology, you briefly touched on that. Is Denel moving more towards that direction in terms of diversity?
Let's move a step back. We are in the high-end technology. In other words, what do? We produce unique missiles. Not too many countries in the world produce missiles. We produce unmanned aerial vehicle, which is very important for military purposes to be able to, in actual fact, dispatch from the Auckland Park Studios, for example, an aircraft to as far away as Bloemfontein. You are able to do that without any pilot on it to be able to gather certain data. That's a unique technology. and we are in infantry fighting vehicles. We're in various defense equipment. Attached to that is a very unique science and technology. So we've been always in that area. But what we are also looking at is a possibility of going in, diversifying into complementary technology. One of the things that we made mention of earlier on was the fact that we are now playing in the space technology side. We are looking to be in what one would refer to as command and control. We are looking to be in maritime. There is a fair amount of commercial business also that we do.
Half of Denel's revenue came from missile development.
Sort of, yeah.
Sort of. Now, are we as a country or as Denel as an organization ensuring that those missiles or equipment do not land up in the wrong hands?
Certainly, certainly.
And what sort of processes do you have in place to ensure that?
The way our business works, from marketing, from production, from exporting, is controlled. There is an organization, a body called SABC, which is chaired by a minister, and that ensures that whenever we are to export to a particular country, they do certain regulatory work. That SABC is also works hand in hand with the United Nations. Whenever we sell to established democracies, and we cannot sell to every Tom and Harry, as they would say.
Now, let's chat about Denel's future. Amazing things are happening. What should we be looking forward to as a nation and as Denel, an organization?
What we are going through currently as an organization internally is to say, if the order book is to the extent that it is, what sort of resource levels do we then require to ensure that we are able to execute? Now we are evaluating, we are adding more people, we are looking at the skills development. There are a whole host of other programs that we've always had, skills development programs, bursary programs, and various programs, so that our people are able to actually work in Denel, come with their proper expertise in engineering, and ensure that they are able to contribute in taking Denel forward, but also augurs very well for the country, I must say.
Fikile, thank you so much for joining us, and we wish you all the best with Denel.
Thank you.